Xbox On. Welcome to Xbox On, a podcast with one host about one console, Xbox. I'm said host Jesse DeRosa, and on today's episode, we'll be talking about the latest Xbox news for the week of June 26, 2025, including Xbox makes its VR debut with a surprise reveal of the MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition. New reports point to an unfortunate third round of layoffs for Team Xbox coming soon. Xbox is coming to Gamescom 2025 this August, and more. On this week in Xbox history, in the year 2007, 18 years ago, Transformers the game was released for the Xbox 360. Do the right thing. Take these Transformers games and put them on Xbox. Actually, this is the licensed movie game for the first Transformers movie, the Shia LaBeouf Linkin Park movie. Also published by Activision. Do the right thing. Traveler's Tale. I did not know Traveler's Tale did this game, actually. That's the Lego game, guys. But published by Activision. Guys, do the right thing. Bring this shit forward, Xbox. You know what you gotta do. Get in contact with Hasbro. Figure out whatever needs to happen. Paramount, I don't care. And say, boys, we need all these Transformers. Now, these aren't the ones people are usually referring to when they say they want the Transformers games backwards compatible and all that. But I want all of them, and I like these games. Now, I'm sure history has not, or time has not been great to these games, but I remember them being badass. In fact, I played them on Wii and DS, so, back in those days, the Wii and DS versions of games were drastically, entirely different, actually, than the Xbox version. So I don't know how much worse the 360 version was, but it was probably worse, because fun thing, I don't know, some of you will probably remember this, but back in that Xbox 360 era, there was a fun phenomenon, especially with a lot of licensed games, where the DS version or the PS2 version or the Wii version was oftentimes a better game than the Xbox 360/PS3 version. And I think the reason for that, I mean, it was always a thing where the primary developer would make the HD version. Even games like Sonic Unleashed did this and stuff, but there'd be a primary developer that would make an Xbox PlayStation version, and then they'd have some other smaller teams make a PSP version, and then a separate DS version, and then a separate Game Boy Advance version, and then a separate Wii version, then a separate PS2 version, and a separate PC version, and then there was the main marketable commercial version, which was the Xbox 360 and PS3 version. That's the main one you're supposed to get. And back in those days, I assume it's because 360 and PS3 were so much more capable. They were HD consoles. They were more powerful. They were going to be more of the spectacle kind of version of the game. And so they are often, I don't know, I guess bigger games to develop, if you want to put it that way. But oftentimes a lot of these licensed Spider-Man Friend or Foe or SpongeBob the video game or Transformers or Sonic Unleashed type games would come out, and the shitty slap together side-scrolling Game Boy Advance version, or the shitty control it with your stylus Nintendo DS version, or the shitty PS2 beat-em-up Wii version where you shake the nunchuck around like an idiot, would review higher than the Xbox 360 720p HD Xbox Live version. And I guess it was just because it's just easier to make a cheap 8-month quick turnaround game if you're making a PS2 DS game, as opposed to making a high definition online multiplayer, high speed action, high fidelity looking, I don't know, spectacle of a game. But I never played the 360 version of Transformers, but I'm willing to bet it's not as good as the DS or the Wii version. I'm just putting it out there. That being said, I'd still go for the Xbox 360 version because I want that HD, baby. I need that 720p in my life. Do you understand? But yeah, dude, come on, bring it back, man. 2007, those were the good days. I miss George Bush. I miss the Iraq War. Anyway, guys, welcome to Xbox On. It's the podcast about the Xbox On. And hey, guys, notable game releases of the week. Let's just get right into it. Couple notable game releases. System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster Edition is supposed to be coming out the day this podcast goes live, but unfortunately last minute it got a little bit of a delay. So this is now going to still release on Thursday the 26th for PC, but if you're looking forward to playing on Xbox, this has now been delayed to sometime in early July with no specific date. So that's an unfortunate little delay there, but it's a short one, so System Shock 2. Night Dive Studios will have that remaster out to you very shortly. But what you can play as of today, Thursday the 26th, Rust Console Edition is available on Series S and X. I don't know if this was previously available on Xbox. Of course, a very popular PC game. I don't care. It's not for me. But what might be for me is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, which is now out as of, Tuesday it came out. Guys, this is available for $29.99, $24 if you got Game Pass, and it's an optimized for Series X new TMNT game. This is a weird one. This is a top-down roguelike brawler isometric game. Not like a 2D sprite game like what was it called? Fucking not Turtles in Time. The one that came out the other year, like a year or two ago, was it Splinter's Revenge or whatever? Shredder's Revenge. So it's not like that. This is from Super Evil Megacorp. It's a new 3D isometric RPG roguelike Ninja Turtles game, which I don't know. It sounds like this is a popular genre for like AA licensed stuff like that Tron game I was talking about last week. But yeah, this is I don't know how it's reviewing, but I keep seeing ads for it, so maybe someone out there is excited about this. But the last game I want to mention, this is one that's maybe you haven't heard of, but it's called Ruffy and the Riverside by a new team called Python Games, or I think it's Python Games, Brazilian developer. It's a new character platform 3D whatever game. Its art style is very Paper Mario inspired, but its gameplay is very like Collectathon N64 3D platformer with a little bit of Banjo-Kazooie stuff going on. This game looks cute. It looks quaint. You play as this little, I think it's a bear with a little pajama mask on, and you run around, you collect pieces and go around to different levels and do things, and it looks fun. It's just like, I don't know, there's been so many of these kinds of like spiritual character 3D platform games that it's not that I'm overwhelmed by them. I mean, I don't think we actually get enough 3D platformers. It's just that I'm like, bad timing. There's so much Switch stuff going on right now. I got my Nintendo fix kind of satiated right now, but this game does look good, and I wanted to give it a shout out because it looks so impressive, and I keep seeing a lot of buzz from it in corners of the internet from gamers, so just thought I'd throw it out there in case you hadn't heard of it. Ruffy in the Riverside, if you're a fan of N64, PS1, PS2 era. I think they talk about it like Mario 64 meets Crash Bandicoot. It's how they describe more of the gameplay, which would be pretty different from what I was describing, but character-wise, it reminds me of very much like a Banjo-Kazooie thing, and then art style-wise, it looks very Paper Mario, so a lot of inspirations taking place here. Definitely a love letter to a bygone era of gaming that I'm nostalgic for, but something I thought worth shouting out, so maybe check it out if you're interested. $20, out now, as of this Thursday the 26th. But guys, welcome to Xbox On. I do want to take a moment. I don't know. I'm kind of having a weird roll into today. I left work a little early today. I had a eye doctor appointment, even though I went to the eye doctor a month ago, because the past couple of years I've been going for my annual checkups. I'm very religious about the eye doctor because I wear contacts and I need my prescription every year. But when I was at the eye doctor a couple of years ago, this eye doctor was like, "Oh, your eye pressure is a little high." And I was like, what the fuck is an eye pressure? This is new. I've been going to the eye doctor my entire life. No one's ever told me about eye pressure. She's like, "Oh, your eye pressure's a little high. Here, take these drops for the rest of your life, because if you don't, you're going to get glaucoma and die. You will have to take these eye drops every day, and they burn like hell when you put them in." I'm only like kind of exaggerating. This is more or less what this doctor told me. And I was like, that's bullshit. No. So I never filled that prescription. And I just kind of like did that guy thing where I was like, ignore the doctor, run and hide, and just did nothing about it. And that eye doctor's office like blew me up for 2 months. Like, "You missed your follow-up appointment. You haven't filled the prescription, or what are you doing? We got to follow up." And I just ignored them. I ghosted them. I stopped going to them. And then the past 2 years, I've been going to a new eye doctor, and they are also measuring my eye pressure. And they're like, "Your eye pressure is like a little abnormal." So I was like, you know what? I don't want to be that guy forever. I'm going to fucking die if I don't do something about my body. So I was like, what do we need to do about this? What's going on? And I told my new doctor that my doctor I had been seeing previously was telling me like, "Oh, your eye pressure's high. Take these drops for the rest of your life." And this new eye doctor was like taken aback. He was like, "How the fuck could someone just use the little eye pressure tool get a slightly above normal reading and then just say, hey, take eye drops for the rest of your life. He's like, that is horrible medical advice. So he set up an appointment for me to come back a month later, which was today. And then we did some more in-depth testing and things like that. And he basically came to the conclusion. He's like, I think you're fine. Your eye pressure is like above normal, but not like in the bad zone. It's in the like elevated, but not scary danger zone. He's like, I think it's just your genetics. But you know, as long as it doesn't get higher than where it's at, you should be fine. He's like, let's just monitor it. You know, every couple of years we'll do one of these appointments. Just make sure it's not getting worse. He's like, but your eye looks healthy. He did all these tests. He told me, I don't fucking take any drops. I'll tell you when it's time to take drops. You're not there yet. You're 30 years old. You don't need to be worrying about getting glaucoma today. So I feel like this weight that has been kind of in the back of my mind, weighing on my shoulders for the past 2-3 years, has been lifted all of a sudden because I did the adult thing. I got a second medical opinion. I just made the appointment. I went to the appointment. I paid the copay. I saw the doctor. I did the thing. And now I just feel a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is very good. And now I'm having like another panic attack where I'm like, I need to go see a normal doctor because gotta just make sure. I know I have like I do. My parents are the worst. They're like, hey, we have balding and back hair and asthma and allergies and high blood pressure and high eye pressure and all the rest. And they're just like, here, it's just in pasty, burnable skin and all the shit. And they just fucking reproduced 1 billion kids and I'm one of them. And I'm just like, you motherfuckers, you guys did this to me. I just had the worst, like the weirdest genetics. So here I am again, you know, just me versus the world with the eye pressure, the blood pressure, the Xbox pressure. I feel the pressure of the Xbox world on my shoulders, if I'm being honest with you. So I'm just kind of dealing with a little bit of that this week. It's kind of where my head's at. I'm like, I'm going to go back to the regular doctor and talk about my blood pressure, because that's another thing I have where it's like my blood pressure isn't like, whoa, you're going to die tomorrow bad, but it is like always consistently like, that's on like the high side of normal. That's like almost in like concerning territory. Let's do something about that. And my last doctor was always like, okay, well, you know, you don't want to take medicine, or you don't want to take medicine immediately. You want to see if you can control it. That's great. Let's try new exercise routines. Let's try new dietary routines. Let's try addressing your stress. Let's try blood tests and see if we can figure out anything about your allergies. And after like 2 blood tests and 3 doctor's visits over the course of a year, that doctor's office just shut down. And then one day I called them to make my follow-up appointment, and they were like, yeah, we're going out of business. Good luck finding a new doctor. And that was like 10 months ago, and I really need to go. That was like a year ago. Holy shit. That was like a year ago. I need to go find a new doctor and stop putting this off, because I'm going to have a fucking heart attack. So that's what's on my mind now. It's like eye pressure. Check. I'm not so worried about that anymore. So I got the go ahead from the doctor. I'm feeling good about that. I should probably just go back to a regular doctor and look into the blood pressure stuff. If I got to get on blood pressure medication, even a low dosage, so be it. You know, it's like better safe than sorry, whatever. I'm not going to be one of those holistic motherfucking hippie people. What do I look like, an Apple user? Come on now. So that's kind of where my mind's at. It's very, you go through those bursts. I hate falling into the stereotypes of life, but like I look at where I was when I was a kid and where I am now, and I'm just like, what's happened to me? I'm like, I used to be like fast cars and Xbox and punk rock music and fast food and fucking, ignoring speed limits and things like that. And now I look at myself and I'm like, I drive a pickup truck. I live in the suburbs. I like to barbecue on the weekends, fucking baseball and beer and a little bit of video games, but only if it's mainly video games like Call of Duty, that pussy ass Mario shit. And it's just like, what has become of me? And I just feel like I've become such an American standard male. And along with that standard American male outfit that I have so comfortably fit into comes the elevated blood pressure and the unwillingness to visit a doctor when you really ought to do it. And, I'm 30 years old. I no more excuses. I'm not a kid anymore. I can't do the cute little thing where I'm like, tee-hee-hee, I'm having Burger King for the 3rd meal in a row. I'll be fine. I'm 17, it's like, you gotta get together. I'm good about the diet. We eat relatively healthy. We eat most of our meals at home. Portion control, I could be better on that. That's where the chub comes from, is definitely the portion control. But in terms of what I'm putting in my body, it's usually pretty healthy. We only talk about what I've been eating, like all the shitty stuff. What when I have a cheat meal, when I have a fun meal. Otherwise, we're eating like home cooked fucking broccoli, chicken, and rice all the time. So I'm just trying to. I got to be better. I got to be on myself more. I got to be better. And I just, I don't know. I feel like I got to proliferate that because unfortunately I am becoming the stereotypical male who's afraid of doctors and just puts things off. And too many dudes out there, they stroke out or they die of cancer or whatever because it's like they just ignored it. They just put it off. It's like, come on. You don't need to be another one. Listen, I used to drive a motorcycle and then I got wise and sold that piece of shit. Now I got to do the same thing about my health. Don't become another statistic. Do the right thing. Take care of yourself. And I don't know. Am I talking to me? Am I talking to you about this? I don't know. I'm just venting, right? Because it's a thing, man. I swear to God, it's such a fucking stereotype, but it's so true. Men and the doctor, such a weird relationship that is. But yeah, that's where my mind's at, even though this is an Xbox podcast and we're supposed to be talking about the great big world of Xbox. I don't know. You guys ever think about anything other than Xbox? I never asked you that, the audience. You guys, I know you guys love your Xbox, your video games, but you ever think about death? But no, silliness aside, I'm trying to let's get back into the show. I like having just a random side talk, some random banter from time to time. What's the point of having an Xbox podcast if you can't opine about your personal medical conditions and the state of the world and the economy and whatnot? So, guys, we have a rare correction / update with an asterisk. So let's get into the corrections and updates of the week. Decoy Doctopus, which is like a cross between Decoy Octopus and Dr. Octopus. I like this. I like the name. Writes in, first time commenter, and says, you didn't mention your bad take on Mind's Eye last week. You also perpetuated the myth that Claire Obscure Expedition 33 was made by a small team, whereas their lie had hundreds of contractors that helped them. Otherwise, I enjoy listening to you each week. This is one of the most confusing comments I think I've ever gotten because it seems kind of antagonistic and a little mean. And then it ends with a really nice, hey, I enjoy listening to your podcast each week. I just love to think that there's this guy, Decoy Doctopus, 42 years old, works for the CIA, chain smokes, listens to the show in total secret, only on specific days, on specific commutes, generally to and from his kids' daycare. And he doesn't mind all the off-color jokes I make about, things we're not supposed to say anymore, when I slip in gay jokes or when I make political commentary that may upset or offend certain segments of the audience. You don't care about that. You don't care when I rag on things that are popular and seem like a hipster douchebag, like my takes on Breath of the Wild or PlayStation. You don't mind that. But God forbid I say something that you deem as a perpetuation of false information regarding a recent hit game that you personally don't agree with. All of a sudden, I feel like the wording is strong. It's just, this is where you draw the line. I perpetuated the myth. I mean, I guess you're not saying that I intentionally spread false information, but it does feel, by using the phrase perpetuated the myth, it feels like you're accusing me of knowingly doing something wrong, when in reality I did something out of ignorance. But I mean, this is also the reason I say we have a correction asterisk, because I don't really know that I perpetuated shit, because I did a little cursory search, and yes, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 was made by a core team of roughly 30 people. And yes, they did have a shit ton of contractors and other people that helped work on the game. But the team that made this game from an embryonic state and were the core component of it, I mean, dude, 343 Industries made Halo Infinite. But they have shit tons of contract workers that were on 6-month to 12-month little spins at the studio, and they had other teams that did different things, like different textures and physics things and different, localization, outsourcing of different art assets. And I don't know, it's like we don't list and label every single one of these teams every time we talk about Halo and refer to them as the collective developer of Halo. We just say 343, or now we say Halo Studios. because we're just talking about the core team that makes Halo. So yeah, Claire Obscure. I mean, I see what the difference is that you're saying, well, hang on, it's not like only 30 people ever had their hands on this game and that's how it was made from stem to stern. But still, it's that the game was envisioned by, drafted by, and spearheaded by a team of 30 people. Of course, they had support from other studios and contract workers and things like that. No shit. But like, I don't know. It's not like this game was made by 500 people like a lot of modern games are. I mean, it was probably made by 30 core people, and then they outsourced various projects to other small to medium-sized teams that did, I don't know, whatever, different marketing and art this and motion capture that and smoothing over that. I mean, I don't know. Yes, I mean, I guess we're kind of both right. It's just, I don't feel like I'm perpetuating a myth. I'm just, yeah, maybe if you want to get into all the nitty gritty, there are other people that helped flesh out the game and make it what it was. But the core team is roughly 30 people, and that is true. But also, who gives a shit? All right, if it was just a correction, like, hey, Jesse, common misconception that the team that made Claire Expedition is actually just 30 people, because while it is just a core team of 30 people, you just write in like a normal person, You don't be so aggressive, Decoy Doctopus, or as I'm going to call you, Decoy Coctopus, you fucking cock. Anyway, you also said you didn't mention your bad take on Mind's Eye last week. What was my bad take? I am assuming that, I don't know when I talked about Mind's Eye. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm assuming that you're referring to the fact that I said this game looks like a fun romp. It looks like a Xbox 360 era Army of Two style, just like, Sleeping Dog style AA game that's far from perfect, but might be a solid 6 out of 10, a fun time. You play it once, you forget you ever played it, and you move on with your life. I still stand by it. I think Mind's Eye looks exactly like that. It does seem like it's a buggy mess, and it has a lot of issues, and it's very rough around the corners, but anyone who's been listening to this podcast for a while knows I have a high tolerance for that kind of shit. And I never thought Mind's Eye was a game that was going to do big numbers and be something that I could highly recommend to a mass audience, but I still stand by it. I think Mind's Eye looks fun for what it is, and it's something I will definitely pick up. Once that game's been patched 5 times over, the entire team's been laid off, and the game's on sale for $15, I will absolutely pick up Mind's Eye. I have every intention of playing this game someday, so I don't think I had a bad take at all. I think I had a personal opinion based on what I saw, and I stand by it still to this day. I've seen plenty of videos and reviews on Mind's Eye. The game's gotten absolute trash. It seems like most people think it's dog shit, but I don't fucking care. I'm about to rant and rave about how much I love this new Tron video game that came out last week that is getting also pretty not horrible reviews, but pretty mediocre reviews, but I thought it was great. I don't give a shit. You like what you like. That's all that matters, Decoy Coctopus. God damn it. Thank you for writing in. And thank you for listening to the podcast. I do appreciate that. And I still invite you to come back and comment anytime. You can continue to be a little rough, a little harsh. Maybe soften it up. I don't care. It's up to you. Write in how you please, Decoy Coctopus. Have a wonderful week, my good sir. All right, guys, let's get into our mildly amusing stories. This is a great way we start the podcast. Generally, we don't talk about my medical history. We talk about what I refer to as the appetizers of Xbox news. This is like you go to the Xbox steakhouse to get a Halo ribeye steak, but maybe you start off with a little bit of Perfect Dark. What do they call them? What's a great appetizer that I haven't mentioned on the podcast in the past? Maybe you start out with, shut up, I'm thinking here, shut the fuck up. Maybe you start out with an appetizer of spring rolls. I don't fucking know. You put me on the spot, asshole, and this is what I came up with. Yeah, you come up with a little spring roll appetizer before you get into your bowl of pho. I don't fucking know. But guys, let's just kick off. We got actually a lot of mildly amusing stories. I feel like it's a good week for news. We got a steady flow continuing these past couple weeks. Let me take a sip of water. We'll start reading. Not good news, but interesting news. Definitely bad news. Microsoft is reportedly planning another round of major job cuts for Xbox, according to a report from Bloomberg this week, which cites sources familiar with the plans speaking under anonymity. I can never say that word. Fuck me. The company is set to conduct a round of layoffs next week, so possibly in the next couple days, as part of a company-wide reorganization. Woo! Bloomberg previously reported that Microsoft plans to cut 1,000 jobs or so next week, mostly consisting of salespeople, but it now appears that the gaming division will be affected by layoffs, as it reports in the notes. This will be the fourth major round of layoffs for Xbox in the past 18 months. So, God fucking damn it. So remember when we thought it was cute? It was like the first time they did it, and it was like, oh, this is just, a right sizing from the pandemic, and this is just, the Activision acquisition. They have to eliminate redundancies, since there are people that Activision has that are no longer needed because Xbox has people who do similar roles. So that's all this is. But now we're on round 4, and it's like, this isn't funny anymore. We're just fucking firing people, as Xbox fans continue to blindly comment on the podcast. Game Pass is profitable. My friend told me so on the playground. Okay, great. I'm telling you this. I mean, and this is just how it works. Yes, everyone always points to, but Microsoft is such a massively wealthy company. They're a $3 trillion company. How could they do this? It's like, well, all right. I'm not trying to justify the actions of Microsoft, but also I do hate that response when people are like, Microsoft is the wealthiest company in the world. They don't have to lay off anyone? Well, it's like, well, yeah, technically, of course, Microsoft could afford to lay off 0 people and then keep all these people employed and continue to do exactly what they're doing, even if certain divisions are hemorrhaging money, and it wouldn't matter because they're Microsoft. But just because you can afford to do that doesn't mean you do that. That's not how a business is run. And I'm not saying I personally agree with that. If I had $3 trillion, I would do passion projects that hemorrhage money left and right and keep people happily employed. If it meant I was putting something out there into the world and employing people and creating something I cared about, absolutely. Who gives a shit about the financial consequence when you're a $3 trillion company? But Microsoft is a publicly traded company, and they cannot go into shareholder meetings quarter after quarter and just be like, yeah, Xbox is hemorrhaging money, but, we're just doing nothing about it because we're really passionate about Xbox. And also because, we just make so much money from other divisions of the company that it doesn't really matter that Xbox is hemorrhaging money. Like, what really matters is that everything else makes money. So, don't pay attention to that. Just focus on this. It's like, listen, I understand, if you're 7, why that argument makes sense. It's like, oh, Microsoft can afford all these people. It's like, that's just not how businesses are run. And if you don't like that, maybe fucking, I don't know, stab your politicians in the face and blow up Wall Street. I don't know what to fucking tell you, man. It's like, this is the broken world we live in. This is the broken world that the American people blindly and ignorantly perpetuate every fucking day by idly standing by and supporting these shitbags that rule our country. So it's like, what do you want me to say about it? Microsoft is they are a massive part of the problem, and they are also a massive symptom of this completely broken and corrupt piece of shit world we live in. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, probably in the coming days before we convene next week to talk about what I've been eating, we will probably see a shit ton of people at Xbox who are working hard and care very much about what they're a part of lose their jobs and get kicked to the curb in an economic crisis because it's not good for Microsoft's current bottom line, and they want to tighten things up and look a little better on paper. And that's the reality of how these things work. And it sucks donkey dick, but this is why we shouldn't be championing things like, oh, buy the Call of Duty publisher, that will make Game Pass look so much better than PlayStation. This is why we should be championing fucking CEOs getting their heads chopped off and fucking companies staying small, separate, nimble, and in constant competition with one another, because when other titans fall and when big giants are able to gobble up other big giants, you just get more shit. You don't get higher. I don't know, what is it that Microsoft keeps saying? Brad Sam always says this shit. It's so fucking annoying. He's always like, fucking our players, our consumers are the ones who are going to benefit from this the most. It's like, bro, you guys have owned Activision for 3 years now. I'm a huge Call of Duty fan. I play every fucking Call of Duty religiously. We'll get to it in a minute. I've been playing Black Ops 6 this week. I'm still fucking waiting. When do I, as a player, get to benefit from this deal? Because I would have gladly given you $70 fucking for Black Ops 6. I don't give a shit that it's in Game Pass or not. If people could have kept their jobs, if Activision could have stayed a separate company that is a partner / competitor with other brands in the market, I would have preferred that and just paid the $70 fucking for Black Ops 6 as opposed to whatever the hell this is. So, I don't know, man. And this isn't all about Activision, but it is the thing that I think this is one of those moments where I'm very proud of the mass majority, where I feel like quickly people identified the issue and were right on the money. It's that acquiring a company the size of Activision, spending the money that was spent to acquire Activision, has put such a target on Xbox that Xbox, historically was able to kind of slide under the radar while being a very tiny portion of Microsoft's portfolio. But now, because investors want to see that return on investment by spending $69 billion on fucking Activision, now all of a sudden Xbox has this spotlight on them. And it's like, how are we becoming more efficient? How are we becoming more profitable? What are we doing to improve here? And when you have people constantly breathing down your neck asking you those questions, you are left with no choice but to start to optimize the machine, look for inefficiencies, and find a way to run leaner, run meaner, get tighter, and make more money. And that is exactly what Microsoft is having to do with Xbox. So stop tweeting about what corporation you would like to see Microsoft consume next, and start lopping off the heads of your favorite CEOs. I'll start. Let's do the guy that runs Denny's. I hate that guy. They made the Grand Slam 20% more expensive than it was 5 years ago. Why come, Denny's? I love Grand Slam. All right, guys, let's move on. As I'm saying all this, I'm holding my fucking $2,000 Microsoft Surface Duo that has been sitting on my desk for 2 years now because I am too afraid to use it as my daily cell phone. Because one, it's from 2018 and it's old now. No, it's not from 2018. It's from 2022, and it's old now. And two, because I don't want to break it because I love this thing and I never want anything to happen to it. But what is the point I'm trying to make? Oh yeah, Microsoft used to make cell phones, and then they stopped, and then they made them again, and then they stopped again. And I fucking hate Microsoft because I love the Surface Duo, and I wish this was still a thing. I'm depressed now. I have high blood pressure. I'm depressed. That's where we are. Let's move on, guys. Xbox has Steam integration. Yeah, here, let's talk about more things that don't make sense. All right, PureXbox.com relays that Xbox have announced Steam integration will now be rolled out into the Xbox PC app as part of a new feature, along with support for leading PC storefronts. This is to do something called your aggregated game library that they're doing on the PC Xbox app. It's designed to let you access all your games in one place. So you still need to have Steam, Epic Game Store, EA, whatever, all installed, these different launchers installed on your PC. And you need to be logged into these different launchers. But assuming you've done all that, which most of you fucking deviants probably have, when you're on the Xbox PC app, it will then aggregate all of your different storefronts into one place, one window where you can view it all. So I saw a picture on Twitter of what it looked like. It's pretty cool. It will show like Steam, and it'll show like your most recent Steam games you played on your library, and it'll show Xbox, it'll show fucking Ubisoft Connect and all these things, and it'll just show all the games you have in those libraries, and you can kind of just view it all in one place, and then click on this game, click on that game. The thing I don't know, but I think, is that when you click on it, it just takes you to that launcher. So like if you click on fucking Spider-Man 2 from your Steam library, it's going to pull up Steam and then launch Spider-Man 2. It's not like you can just bypass Steam and play it from the Xbox launcher or something like that. So this is like a optical visual one step forward into this future of Xbox integrating with Steam and all that stuff that everyone's talking about and hoping for. But it's not that, it's like, we're not there. It's not like this is you turn on your PC, you get this specialized version of Windows that is specifically a gaming version, and that you can, from this one UI launcher, just play games from every service without hopping in from one service to another. This isn't that. It's just a kind of aggregated view, which is like a precursor step. So I'm not trying to knock it. As people continue to talk about how the next Xbox console has to be, or is rumored to be, this Xbox that lets you play Steam and access the Steam store and all these things. This is kind of a tiny step towards that direction by starting with the PC space, which I feel like for PC, this kind of makes perfect sense. For console, it still makes no sense, because how does Xbox make money if everyone's playing on Steam? But on PC, this makes perfect sense, because the PC marketplace for gaming has always been a fractured segment of play this on a mobile browser or on a internet browser and play this game on Steam and play this game downloaded to your desktop and play this game through this other launcher and play this game through this other launcher and so on and so forth, BattleNet and whatnot. So by trying to unify that stuff as Microsoft, not as Xbox, but as Microsoft, the Windows guys trying to unify all that stuff and make gaming more of a centralized experience for PC users, I think that actually makes perfect sense, especially on a platform like Windows PC where nobody fucking engages with Xbox and it doesn't matter because everyone plays on Steam anyway. However, on Xbox home consoles that you plug up to your TV and use in your living room, it makes absolutely no sense because the only way Xbox makes money is by you buying games from the Xbox marketplace. So if you're buying games from Steam on your Xbox in your living room, then how the fuck is Xbox making any money? Because they don't make money from selling the Xbox hardware. They don't make money from you playing on Steam. They don't make money from you buying games on Steam. So how the fuck does Xbox make any goddamn money if, Game Pass is not profitable? So if you're subscribed to Game Pass and you buy an Xbox and you play all your games on Steam in your living room on your Xbox Series J or whatever it's called, I just don't see how the fuck this is a business that is profitable. Unless you want to see everyone at Xbox get fired, I suggest we reevaluate what this would mean. However, obviously, there's no denying, just from a separate standpoint of like as a consumer, as a feature suite, like it's this awesome idea. Like, yeah, even I'm up for that. Fuck yeah, it'd be so cool if I could sit down on my Xbox and access my Steam library and play Batman Arkham Origins on my couch on my Xbox instead of at my PC. I love that. I love that idea. It's just as an Xbox fan and an analyst of the brand, it's like I don't see how the fuck they can make that make sense. But I do love the idea as a consumer, no doubt about that. It is pretty fucking cool. So I am still very curious about this. It does seem like this is the direction Xbox is headed in, and I would love for them to show how they plan to build a revenue stream from this new path forward and system they have in place. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I would love for them to, explain to us how they're going to do it, because right now I don't understand it, but I want it to make sense. I want to understand it. So speaking of wanting to understand things, Gamescom is coming back again this year from August 20th to the 24th. I don't know why they keep doing it. I don't know why the Europeans keep going to it, but they keep doing it, baby. And so from Pure Xbox, here we go. It's been announced that Xbox will indeed be involved in Gamescom this year from August 20th to 24th. Although specific details are apparently going to be announced soon rather than right now, we can at least guarantee that Xbox will be there. The unfortunate thing is we don't know if that means that they're going to have an event. It's been a couple of years since Xbox has had a showcase at Gamescom. I doubt that's what they're going to do, but anything is possible in a world where the June game showcase was severely underwhelming. Who knows? Maybe they use Gamescom as a part 2 to talk about all the games that had already been announced that they just chose not to discuss at all. So anything's possible. I'm not holding my breath on this. I think we don't really get anything super juicy until the Game Awards in December. However, just keep in mind that Xbox will be at Gamescom in the near future. We will learn about what their role at Gamescom will be. Hopefully it's not just, hey, we're on the show floor. Come check out fucking Mind's Eye, baby. So we'll see. Speaking of checking it out, if you're in Tokyo, Japan, you might want to check out the brand new Sega store. That's right, folks. Sega has officially announced plans to open a flagship store in Tokyo, Japan, the birthplace of anime porn. It's called the Sega Store Tokyo. The official store was announced via video published on Japanese Sega X account on Friday, and no details were shared. However, VGC first reported last year that the Sega store is set to open in Shibuya's Parco department complex, the same building which already houses a Nintendo Tokyo store, the official Capcom store, and the Pokemon Center. For the past few weeks, visitors have spotted construction work hinting at a Sega store in Tokyo, with signage for the company's iconic font. So this is really exciting, actually, for me personally. I think this is fucking awesome. I love the Nintendo store. I was lucky enough to go to the Nintendo store years ago when I went to New York City. Holy shit, has it really been? Was that 7 years ago? Oh my god. I thought that was like 3 years ago. But yeah, when I went to New York City 7 years ago, I went to the Nintendo store and it was freaking awesome. I love it. I had a great time. I would love for more brands. I love to do this. I would love for Sega to do this. I love Sega. I love Sonic. This is awesome that Sega's going to have one. Hopefully one day I finally make it to Tokyo and I would get to see the store for myself. So I think that's badass. I think it's cool that more companies do this. I love these kinds of boutique stores. And I like it when Nintendo's opening more and more of these, and that has me a little bit concerned. I love the idea of like you only have like 2, maybe 3 of these in the world. And it's like a pilgrimage for fans to go and to see it. You know, I love that idea. That's like, oh, I'm in Tokyo. I got to see the Sega store. I would love for Xbox maybe in like, I don't know, Redmond, Washington, or New York or something like that to have like an Xbox store. That'd be fucking awesome. But of course not, because Xbox can't be fun and cool like that. We just got to be boring and lay people off while we make partnerships with companies nobody wants us to partner with, but we'll get into the VR headset in a little bit. But yeah, just it got me thinking, wouldn't it be cool if Xbox had their own store? And then I stopped and thought, oh, wait a bit. Xbox had their own store. As I hold my Windows phone in my hand and cry, they had a store called the Microsoft Store. They had Surfaces there. They had nice employees there. They had Windows phones. They had Microsoft bands, and they had Xboxes there. And I tried to work there in college, and they never called me back for an interview. And I liked that store, and I would go to it. Every time I went to Perimeter Mall, I would just go to that store, and I would spend time, even though I had an Xbox, even though I had a Surface Pro, even though I had a Windows phone, even though I had a Microsoft band. I still had to go to the Microsoft Store because I liked the Microsoft Store. It's like why people go to Apple Store, because they like the Apple Store, because they want to be surrounded by geniuses. I went to the Microsoft Store because I wanted to be around people with micro penises that were very soft. And so I would go to the Microsoft Store all the time. It was awesome. It was my favorite store, and I'm nostalgic for it. And now I cry every time I think about it, because I remember in 2015, I would go to Perimeter Mall after school. Sometimes I get out of class at good old GPC College, rest in peace, now you're Georgia State. And I would go on down to Perimeter College. I'd pop in, maybe grab some Chinese takeout at the food court, because after all, you're 20 years old. Why not? And then you pop into the Microsoft Store for a little bit. You dick around on some Windows phones. You dick around on some Surface devices. You see the big ads for Halo 5 coming out in a couple months, and you go, God damn, I can't wait. That game's going to be so awesome. And then when you walk outside the Microsoft Store in the mall, they got the big demo kiosk set up with the Kinect in the middle, and all these kids around. They're playing Just Dance, whatever, fucking Dance Central. I don't fucking give a shit. I don't care about that game. But they're playing it, and it's fun, because Xbox is like, hey, we can be a fun brand. We're not just about that one Bill Gates guy that goes to Epstein Islands and rapes little girls. We also have Master Chief and cloud storage. And it's like, oh yeah, this is cool. I love this. I love the idea of Xbox having its own store. We should call it the Microsoft Store. And then if there's a global pandemic, we shouldn't be a bunch of short-sighted assholes and shut the stores down. We should just, keep them going for a few months and reopen after the pandemic. But we didn't do that. No, Satya, you didn't fucking do that. You canceled Windows Phone. You canceled Zoom Music. You canceled Microsoft Store. You canceled Surface Duo. Surface Neo. You drove Panos Panay out of the company. Like, what are we doing here? You neutered Xbox. You bought Activision. You fired all the Call of Duty people. What are we doing, Xbox? Sega's building a store in Tokyo. What are you doing, Microsoft? Man, I miss the Microsoft Store, though. Shout out to the Microsoft Store. I sometimes go to the Apple Store because the Microsoft Store was like a blatant, it was blatantly inspired by the Apple Store, but it was just way better and way more fun. And so sometimes when I'm at the mall, I'll just go to the Apple Store. And then like a guy will come up to me and be like, hey, do you need any help? Welcome to the Apple Store. My name is Jason, and I like to skateboard, and I would love to show you around the brand new iPhone 16. Shut up, Jason. I don't give a shit about iTouch Max. Don't care. I'm just here to be bitter and soak up the remnants of when Microsoft had a similar storefront to you. I don't care, Jason. Go away, Jason. Microsoft Store had wood floors and wood paneling all over the store. This store has concrete floors that look sad and cold and depressing, Jason. And that's what happens. But I love specific stores for single brands. Apple Store, Microsoft Store, Nintendo Store, Chick-fil-A. Let's fucking do it, Xbox. Stop being a bunch of little bitches. Get the Xbox Store up and running. Just in time to cancel it. I love that. That'd be great. All right, guys. Man, I'm really ranty today, huh? Oh, let's talk about Gears of War. So actually last week, people were playing this game on PlayStation. That's weird. But following a difficult first beta for the Gears of War Reloaded coming out in August, developer of the Coalition has said it's planning another multiplayer test for the game, which will include more maps and modes. Gears of War Reloaded, which is a modern remaster of the 2006 epic game shooter, will mark the series' debut on PlayStation after 20 years. Ahead of the game's release, developer The Coalition has begun running a series of betas for the Gears of War Reloaded multiplayer suite. However, during the game's first beta, players reported constant server instability and technical issues. This, combined with limited availability for the betas, caused some frustration for fans. In response, the Coalition has confirmed that another beta will run from June 20th to the 22nd, which already fucking passed on all platforms. I didn't realize this already passed. You just ignore this. They held another beta. Anyway, the game's still coming out, $40 in August. I guess I just kind of want to talk about this mostly. I didn't notice that it already passed. It was already over. But I just think it's weird to know that, like, people have been playing Gears of War the past couple weekends on PlayStation and it just kind of came and went. And, like, the world, you know, obviously if you look for it, you can see videos, you can see people talking about it happened. But it's just like, it's so nonchalantly. That's how it is in this day and age, where it's like, yeah, Xbox is putting Gears of War on PlayStation, whatever. We're too busy talking about how there's a GTA 6 icon on the Xbox store page. It's like, seriously, man? We're not going to talk more about what's going on with Gears of War? It just blows my mind. It's just so weird to me. But also, how the fuck are you guys having technical issues on a port of a game that you've remade 500 times? But also, whatever. I'm excited to see. I just feel like it's going to be so funny seeing PlayStation people jump back in, play Gears of War for the first time up against these Xbox tryhards that have been around for 20 years playing this shit, and just kind of see how that looks. I mean, God. I wonder if they'll be able to turn off crossplay if you're on PlayStation so that you can play against people, you know, your own skill level or something. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of Xbox games on PlayStation, Xbox has detailed new features coming to the upcoming enhanced version of Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which will release on August 12th for Xbox Series consoles, PC, and PS5. The enhanced update will be free for Xbox and PC users, while the PS5 version will release for the first time on Sony's console and will be available for $50 US. There will be a deluxe edition of the PS5 version, which costs $70, but it comes with not only the newly optimized PS5 version of the Hellblade 2, but also a PS5 optimized version of Hellblade 1, Senua's Sacrifice, along with the original soundtrack. Players who already own the PS4 version of the first Hellblade game will be able to upgrade to the PS5 version for free. According to Xbox, the enhanced version of Hellblade 2 will include a new performance mode, which enables gameplay at 68 frames per second. So, not a whole lot to say on that. Just, Hellblade 2. Next up is Starfield, guys. It's time for Starfield. Don't be surprised if we see in the next, I don't know, couple months, 1 to 3 months, I'd say. Starfield's coming to PlayStation. It's fucking weird, but it's probably going to happen real soon. All right, guys. Next up, I thought this is, again, one of those Xbox, like, good guy Microsoft moves where it's like, no one else would do this. I don't think I would even do this, but here's Xbox doing it anyway. So, indie team is making, who is it? What are they called? I don't know. This new game coming out called Spartan Survivors. It's this little indie made game. It is I don't know how you want to put it. It's like one of those like simple iPhone, like Vampire Survivor style games. You just move in a circle and you just shoot enemies all around you and you power up and you get guns and you just keep fighting and shooting and you just try to survive as long as you can. But it's got a Halo skin to it. You play as like a Master Chief looking character and you fight Halo looking bad guys, but it's got really shitty art style and really shitty graphics. And it's called Spartan Survivors, and it's been kind of making the rounds on social media. Well, Halo Studios reached out to the team behind the game and said, hey, you got our blessing if you want to move forward and put the game on Xbox. And so they're releasing the game, and they're going to sell it for money, and it's going to look and be basically an unofficial Halo Vampire Survivor knockoff. And, yeah. They're going to add legal verbiage to the store page disclaiming, hey, this is not an official game from Microsoft or Halo Studios, but, this is like a fan-made game, and you can go out and play this. So I think it's a cool guy move that Halo Studios and Microsoft were like, yeah, sure, do it. Why not? But, I mean, look at the key art. It's clearly Master Chief firing a Magnum and a AR at a couple of elites and grunts, with a Halo ring in the background. Like, this is it's Halo. And then you look at the gameplay and it looks like shit, but it's a cool move. I appreciate that, like, polar opposite of Nintendo kind of attitude where they're just like, yeah, people are going to make stuff like this. We trust our consumers to be smart enough to be able to look at Spartan Survivors and discern that this is not an official Xbox Halo Studios game, that this is just some like fan-made game. And it's a good way to proliferate the community and to, build goodwill towards our base. And so they know what they're doing, and I appreciate that. I wish more companies were able to do things like this. So I do respect the decision from that standpoint, although I think this game looks just fucking horrible. But anyway, cool guy move, good guy Microsoft, that kind of thing. Spartan Survivors, check it out for yourself. I watched the trailer. I think it looks like ass, to be honest with you. But to those who want to give it a go, more power to you. But that's going to wrap it up for our opening news stories, you guys. We're going to get into the games I've been playing this week next, because I've been playing a couple of games. But before I get into what I've been playing, I do want to tell you about what it is I've been eating, because I think after 4 weekends of grilling, I think I'm a little grilled out. Now, let me elaborate, because a lot of people said, oh, when you get a grill, it's always the same. The first couple of weeks, you'll love it. You grill a couple times, and then you'll just never grill again. This is not, when I say I'm a little grilled out, I am not talking about grilling, like the act of grilling. I'm not tired of it. I actually am really enjoying it. But what I am getting tired of is eating grilled food. So it's a very weird phenomenon, because my mother was visiting this past week. And so, of course, I wanted to, do a little like grilled dinner while she was here. So I went to Costco. We got some squash and some zucchini and some steaks and some, chicken wings and all this stuff. And we got all this stuff and we threw it on the grill and I had a good time cooking for my mom and my girlfriend. We had a little meal together and it was fun, right? I love using the grill. I love getting the fucking charcoal chimney set up and pouring the coals in and monitoring the 2 zones and doing the indirect and direct heat and smoking them and throwing some, hickory wood in there to get an extra smoky flavor and temping and all that. I love the whole process. I love manning the charcoal grill, setting it up, cooking the meat, seasoning it, all of it. It is a very, very fun hobby for me. I'm getting very much into, and I love all of it. But last week I made those chicken wings and they were awesome. I ate so many of them. Like, these are fucking sick. I always want to eat my chicken wings this way. Then this week I made the chicken wings pretty much the exact same way again. And this time I eat them and I'm like, I'm a little fucking tired of eating food that tastes like charcoal. I got to stop here. And it's like, I want to grill. Like, this weekend, if I had it my way, I want to do like pork ribs or something, or God forbid I try something super simple like cheeseburgers. But I just don't want to eat the end product anymore. So I'm at this impasse where I'm like, I guess I got to give myself a break from the grill for a little bit so I can kind of muster up the appetite for the food again, because the act of grilling is still a very fun thing for me to do. So my girlfriend was like, oh, you're already bored of it? I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm not bored of it. I'm just tired of eating smoky pork. And she was like, yeah, I'm kind of there too. I need a break. So first world problem for sure, but this is where I am with the grill. Is this normal to all you Xbox daddies out there that like to grill? Is this a thing you go through? Let me know. I'm interested to hear from you guys. No one's written in about their grill stories yet, and I find this hard to believe that there aren't some Xbox daddies who are total grill fans. So please write in. I know you're out there. I know you care. So please. But guys, that's it for what I've been eating and getting tired of eating. Now let's move into what I've been playing, which is a litany of games. So let's start with the Xbox stuff. So Black Ops 6, I'll be honest, I'm pretty excited about Black Ops 7. This idea that we're getting a sequel to Black Ops 2, which is a game I just have so much love for. I'm very cautiously optimistic because I really don't expect this game to be good, considering it is one of those year 2 Call of Duty games where it's like, Modern Warfare 2 was the main Modern Warfare, and then the next year they did a slap together Modern Warfare 3, and then last year was a Black Ops 6 that was in development for 3 or 4 years, and then this year they're doing a slap together last minute Black Ops 7. So I'm expecting this to be a horrible campaign, which is the part I care about the most in a Black Ops 2 direct sequel. I'm expecting the zombies to be solid and the multiplayer to be solid, but we'll see. I'm very cautiously optimistic about this game. Very doubtful that it's going to be one of the better Call of Duties, but it has me excited nonetheless. And I realize I have not played nearly as much Black Ops 6 as I would like to have, because I've just been pretty busy with splitting my time among different games. So I've been playing some Black Ops 6. I really don't have anything to say about it. It seems like, when the game came out, it was doing really well and had a really positive conversation surrounding the game, which was unlike Call of Duty in the modern era. But it seems like that goodwill has died out because from what I can tell online, it seems like everyone is mad at how Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has been managed the past few months. So I guess that goodwill is gone. Not only that, but I will say one thing that did irk me as I booted this game up for the first time in months. And while I'm in the lobby waiting to load into my first match in months, this other guy loads into the lobby, and what do you know? He's playing as a fucking unicorn. He's got a little rainbow unicorn on all fours walking around, following us in the lobby. And I'm just like, fuck me, I can't believe this is what Call of Duty's turned into. So that was pretty disheartening. But aside from that, I've also been playing FBC Firebreak, which I touched on a bit last week, but I'm really not playing this too much. I had like a big gaming sesh with Cronky. He and I played FBC Firebreak, the new multiplayer game set in the Control universe from Remedy Entertainment. And I gotta say, I like this game and appreciate this game, although I don't think I like this game enough to keep playing it. It's more like I like it enough to appreciate it for what it is and respect it and say, for those who find this interesting, good for you, enjoy that game. I just don't know that it's a game for me personally. Cronky writes in and says, FBC Firebreak is a weird game. It's one of those co-op shooters that only gets good in the end game when you're playing with friends, unlocking new stuff and upping the difficulty. But that 3-mission structure where you basically have to keep replaying earlier parts of the level is awful. Strangely terrible design from a great studio. Yeah, so the way it works is like there's like 4 or 6, maybe 6 or 8 different chapters or levels or things you do. And I guess it's kind of like a Deep Rock Galactic style game, but I haven't really played that game, so I have to compare it to Left 4 Dead, which I know is not a very apt comparison. It's just I'm out of touch with these things, and that's all I can compare it to. But it's like in Left 4 Dead, you get like the different campaigns, right? And then in each campaign, there's like 3 to 5 chapters, and each chapter is like point A to point B, and then point A to point B, point A to point B, until you finish the campaign. If you want, you can finish the campaign in about an hour. They're these little bite-sized chapters, and they all progress through one little game. And in FBC Firebreak, it kind of works like that, where each mission or whatever, there's like these 6 or 8 different missions, and each one offers 3 chapters or 3 modes or 3 levels of that chapter. But it's not a progressive thing. Like the first one is part 1, the second one's part 2, and the third one's part 3, and then you're done with the game, the whole little campaign altogether, and then you move on to the second one. It's not like that. It's like the first one is a basic version of it. The second one is everything you just did plus some more stuff, and then the third one is everything you did before plus some more stuff. And it's like, let me give you an example. So like the first one is like, you stave off hordes of enemies while you try to repair all the fans and energy boxes in the office or in the fucking building or whatever you're in. And so it's like, if you play the first tier, it's like you and your friends spawn in and you stave off waves of enemies while you repair some machines. And then if you play round 2 of it, once you're done, once you do them all, you extract and you move on. Once you play tier 2, it's not a continuation like a second chapter of that story. It's like you do the exact same thing, but now instead of extracting and ending, you go into a second room and continue to do it in there, and then you extract. And then usually like the third time you play it, because there's 3 rounds for each game or chapter or whatever mission, the third one is usually the most advanced, where it has like a boss fight at the end or something kind of cool happens, and then you extract and it ends. But still, the start is always the same. It's you do the same thing you did on level 1, and then you do the same thing you did on level 2, and now you do some new stuff for level 3. And it just feels kind of redundant and repetitive. It's like, why are we clearing the same room again? Why are we repairing the same machine again? Why are we unlocking the same door again? I just did that in the last version of this mission. So it's like almost like if you have a good team together and you guys are solid at the game, you might as well just always start on mission 3 and just skip missions 1 and 2 or tiers 1 and 2, because all you're going to do is just repeat that content by the time you get to tier 3. So I just, from that point of view, I don't love the way this game is set up. But in terms of like the moment-to-moment gameplay and the uniqueness of the game, I like it. It's solid fun. Like, it's goofy, it's campy, it's set in this world pretty well. Like, it translates from this world pretty well. I love like the second one where it's sticky notes and your objective is like you gotta If you play as the class with the flamethrower, you just burn all these sticky notes. If you play as the other class, you let all the sticky notes fly and attach onto your body. And then when you have a bunch of them covering you, you go into like the decontamination shower and let all the sticky notes fall off of you, and you try to destroy all the sticky notes in the room. And then once you do it, that's how you move on to the second room and the third room. And then you fight the giant boss, who is a giant monster in the shape of that is formed by all these sticky notes forming together. And it's just ridiculous and weird and goofy. And to heal yourself, you have to take showers in the decontamination room, and to get ammo, you have to play this little mini game where you hit left and right bumper in sequential order. And then it's funny. It's like if you get caught on fire, if you walk into a room and it's on fire and you get caught on fire, but your teammate has like the water gun, he can shoot you and then it will put you out and stuff like that. And it's just got like funny physics stuff and funny world building, like canonical nods to the Control universe. And it's also really aptly grounded. Like what you do in this game and how it's laid out and explained is very, very well grounded to the world of Control. It's just, I don't know that Control needed this kind of multiplayer spin-off game. And so I feel like, this game has any success or any chance at success. It's just that it's available for free to Game Pass and PS Plus subscribers. But otherwise, I just don't think this game is all that special. It's fun. It's fun for a weekend with some friends. I enjoyed playing with Cronky a lot more than I enjoyed playing it by myself. But do I have an itch to go back and play this? No. I would rather Cronky just play Black Ops 6 with me. But Cronky will never play Black Ops 6 with me because he has a small mind when it comes to Call of Duty and what joy it can bring to you. All right, next up, let's talk about a game that is available on Xbox that I should have bought and played on Xbox, but I made the mistake of buying and playing on Nintendo Switch. And that is a game I touched on last week, which is Tron Catalyst. Now, this game, I have wrapped it up. I have beaten it. It took me about 7 hours. I really like this game. I do not recommend this game to just everyone. I will say, same thing I said last week. If you're a Tron fan, absolutely you must play this game. Absolute must play for Tron fans. If you are a fan of these like roguelike, top-down, isometric, whatever games, then yeah, when this game is on sale for like $5 one day, maybe give it a go. Or if it's in Game Pass one day, give it a go. But I don't recommend it for people like that at $25 at full price, because what this game is, I was telling Cronky about it, and he was like, it sounds like that game is more like Deathloop more than anything based on what you're saying. So basically the premise is you play as this ISO, and you're in this different grid in the world of Tron. And you are like a courier deliverer, and you're moving the game opens up and you're moving this package, you're delivering this package, but then something happens and the package explodes while you're en route to deliver. In that explosion causes you to start experiencing this glitching phenomenon where you can loop your day. So like at any point you can hold right on the right stick, you can click in the right stick and hold it, and then it will restart the game. Like not restart the whole game, but restart the day like in Deathloop. And the benefit to that is you can use that to your advantage. You can you work for this, you're kind of imprisoned to this organization called the Core, which is this like ruling faction that wants to control the grid, basically. And you're like a prisoner to them, and you have like this warren basically that like watches over you and doesn't let you leave. And so like you quickly learn, it's like, hey, I can keep having this conversation every day with this guy and try to get out of here. And over time you learn things, you get secrets, you learn how to break into doors, you get gate codes, and you get all these things, and then you can keep looping the day again and again, and then use the information you've learned to bypass this or make that conversation work in your favor or get past that door or whatever. And that is kind of the loop of the game. Like you realize that you have this power, and then you meet up with, you got to save the grid. The grid is going to basically end soon, and there's like these different factions. There's like this Promethean faction and the Core faction, the ISOs and everything, and it's about these warring factions and finding these like people who are on your side and like know about your ability and can help you harness it to save the grid and all this stuff. And it's got its whole storyline. I think it's pretty fucking cool. It's really well written. Shout out to Mike Bithell for that. But the problem with the game is it's a fun 7 hours, but it never gets really deep enough. The combat is like painfully shallow. It has a little bit of a skill tree, but it's one of those completely useless skill trees basically. And the combat is pretty much like hit the X button to hit people, hit the right trigger to throw your disc and hit people from a distance. And then there's a parry attack and a dodge roll. And the combat is kind of simple, kind of pedestrian. It never evolves beyond that. The only thing they ever do to really add any variety is at one point in the game, there's like a stealth optional thing you can do where you can go this terminal and disguise yourself like the enemy faction. So you can like stealth around this one building and not get caught and avoid combat. But otherwise, the game just keeps leaning more and more on combat the further you get into the game. And the combat just never evolves and becomes more special in any way. It just kind of becomes or stays basic and stale from start to finish. If you're someone like me, that's not a problem. As long as it's fun enough, I can do that all day. But I know people like really complex and very unique combat systems, and this game does not offer that. And so for that reason alone, I would just say it's not amazing at what it does. It's not a spectacular game, but again, as a Tron fan, it's a really cool story and scenario. And as a fan of just pick up and play fun licensed games, I feel like this kind of just is a great, digestible, easy to I don't know, just agreeable game for people who like casual games and Tron and things like that. And so I had a great time with it. And for people, again, Tron fans, highly recommend Catalyst. It's a very cool game. Everyone else, wait for it to be on fire sale or play it on Game Pass one day, maybe if it comes to Game Pass. But that's Tron Catalyst. In fact, I liked it so much, I kind of want to go back and play it again. When you beat the game, it warns you at the end when you're approaching the last boss. It's like, hey, your save file is basically going to go bye-bye. So do what you got to do before you finish any side quests or whatever before you proceed, because you cannot go back. And when you beat the game and the credits roll, your save file is just like over. It's like, do you want to start a new run? And you can start from the scratch. And so I'm like, I kind of want to do it again, honestly. I might just play it again, but I also kind of want to download it on Xbox just to throw some support to the developer and let them know I love this game, and also just experience it on Xbox where it looks way prettier and get my achievements for it. So I don't know. I'm thinking about that, but the reason I haven't done it yet or made a decision yet is because I am very captivated by the fourth and final game I've been playing this week, and by far the game I've been playing the most. And that is Metroid Prime. I'm finally playing the Metroid Prime remaster that was released for Switch a few years ago. And I'm playing this on my Switch too. Now, Metroid Prime, the original Metroid Prime, is a game I have not played 15 years, maybe? Last time I played Metroid Prime, it's been a long-ass time, to the point where I was young. I don't really remember this game. I remember how this game made me feel. I remember how much I enjoyed it, but I don't remember the specifics of this game. So in a way, playing Metroid Prime right now is almost like the first time. Now, it's a Metroid game and I suck at these. So I am using a guide blatantly as I see fit because I don't like getting stuck. But I am having an absolute blast with this game. And I just got to say, dude, I fucking love Metroid. I've always loved Metroid. When I beat Metroid Dread this year, it was just such a reminder of how much how perfect the series is, how much I adore it. And dude, I mean, Metroid Prime, my favorite Metroid games of all time are Metroid Prime 3 and Metroid Fusion. So, man, Metroid Prime is so good. And I really hope we get Metroid Prime 2 and 3 on Switch someday. Because it's going to be weird if all we have is 1 and 4. But, oh my God, man, this game is this is one of those rare games where, like, the talk of this game back in the day was it is a masterpiece. And the sentiment towards it today is that it is still a masterpiece. And I will say, I'm a little over halfway through it right now. The game is still a masterpiece. Like, I mean, this remaster does a perfect job of respecting this game and honoring it and just translating it perfectly to modern hardware with modern controls and making it visually updated in a pleasing and respectful way, and does nothing else. It does not fuck with anything. It does not add or remove content. It is just Metroid Prime as you remembered it on the GameCube, but adapted for modernity. And it is masterful. This game is, dude, Retro Studios does not get enough respect for just how well designed of a game this is. The fact that they are able to not only make a Metroid game at all, considering they're not the creators of Metroid, but to help translate the series into the first person 3D space and make it such a natural evolution of what we were playing on, SNES at the time, is a huge, huge testament to their development chops and just what a great developer Texas-based Retro Studios are. I mean, those guys are so good, and this game is so good. I absolutely adore this game. The music, one of the greatest video game soundtracks ever. It's so fucking good, dude. It's like I'm listening to the soundtrack. I'm like, this soundtrack is like the perfect balance between like old Metroid music on the NES and SNES mixed with like fucking like Aphex Twin or some shit. Like it's like early 2000s like electronic, like just weird spacey shit that's just so cool. And I absolutely adore this game's soundtrack. Its eeriness, its atmosphere are absolutely perfection. Its environments are so cool, so fun to explore. If I had to find a criticism of this game, a single criticism of this game, like you just said, gun to your head, Jesse, you got to find something negative to say about this game. The thing I would say about Metroid Prime is I feel like sometimes there are certain corridors that mirror other corridors in different parts of the map that can make it confusing, because as you're trying to mentally map out this game in your head, you'll walk through one corridor and be like, this looks eerily like this other corridor in this other part of the map, and then it confuses you when you're trying to commit the layout of this game to your head, because Metroid is a giant puzzle and you try to more or less memorize where everything is and what everything is, so you can backtrack and go, okay, now I gotta go back to this door. Oh, I can't do this door. I must have to get a different power up to do that door. And then you get a different power up 4 hours later. And you're like, oh, I think this power up will open that door that was over there that I couldn't get through earlier in the game. And then you go backtrack. And so I will say there are some like corridors and hallways and stuff where I'm like, this looks way too similar to this other place, and if they had just designed these to be more unique looking, maybe I wouldn't get so lost trying to backtrack. But aside from that, I mean, that is a nitpick. Aside from that, I mean, the combat is simplistic but perfect. The power-ups are amazing. You get that amazing Metroid feeling of just like getting super powerful and badass, and that huge rewarding feeling every time you get another ability, and watching your suit upgrade and become more badass looking, and just have your suite of abilities open up to you more and more as the game just continues to open up. And it's like, now I can go through here. If I go in this morph ball, now I can attach to the wall, and now I can super jump, and now I got these super missiles, and now I got ice missiles, and now I got this and that, and you just it's so fun. And then the other thing is, the thing I love about Metroid Prime is it is a puzzle game. It is a Metroidvania. It is a action adventure game, but it's not really a first-person shooter. First-person shooting is the method for which the action occurs, but it is not a first-person shooter. In fact, most of the stuff you're doing in first-person is scanning stuff and reading environmental objects and artifacts to get a sense for this world, and that's how the story is conveyed. And I just fucking love, learning about this ancient civilization of the Chozo by reading these artifacts and learning about what happened in this space. And it's very rare that a game is able to do this. I hate when games break the pacing by being like, oh, now you gotta stop and read this diary. It's like there's so many games, there's so many like BioShock inspired style games today where it's like, oh, it's I'm playing fucking Atomic Hearts or whatever, and then you go in this room and it's like, let me just stop. I cleared a hallway of enemies and killed a bunch of guys, and now I'm just gonna stop at this desk and read this note that's like, audio log, August 1842. My dearly beloved, I write to you from the USS Marineland, and I'm shooting Nazis in the face with my gun. And it's like, this is just fluff. What are we doing here? But Metroid Prime is different. It's like you want to scan everything because there is a collector. There's like almost like a 3D platformer collectathon element to the scanning in this game. And then on top of that, it's your only means for figuring out what is happening in the story, like what this story is. You're exploring this environment. There's all this environmental storytelling. You can see the ruins. You can see the doors and what leads to where and what was left behind, and based on what enemies and what items are here or there, what that says about this planet you're exploring. But then it's all the artifacts and things you're scanning along the way that really tell you about who was here or what happened here or what you need to do to turn things around or to get off this planet or to salvage or save or whatever it is you're trying to do. It is all conveyed to you by exploring the environment and constantly being rewarded with rich environmental storytelling and detail. And it's so crazy, because the thing about Metroid is it is a game that I would 9 times out of 10, a game like this, I would have no patience for it. But Metroid consistently balances all these details just so perfectly that it borders on the on being insufferable, but balances in just a way that it's always just enough. It's always perfect. And as a result, the game is so fun to explore and so fun to experience. It's just so fun to be in that atmosphere and to be in this setting and this environment. and explore and shoot and unlock and discover and fight your way through this game. And dude, Metroid Prime, I'm looking forward to wrapping it up this weekend, but oh man, it has me so excited for Metroid Prime 4. I absolutely adore this game. It's just so difficult because there are, I'm not a crazy fan of Metroid 1 and 2. I've never played that Samus Returns from 3DS. But, like Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3, Metroid, Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Dread, like Game Boy Advance, GameCube era Metroid up until today, plus Super Metroid for the SNES. Like these are literally just some of the greatest games of all time. This Metroid is one of the great franchises in gaming history. And it's kind of crazy because like this is my sci-fi shit, man. This is what I love. Tron, Metroid, like this is my sci-fi like A tier shit. So it's crazy that we're getting a new Tron game, and I'm playing some Metroid games in excitement for Metroid Prime 4, and it's awesome, man. It's exciting as hell. I'm just looking forward to more and more of this stuff and really enjoying what we got in the meantime. So that is it for what I've been playing, guys. It's been a lot of time talking about nonsense. So let's get a little water break here, come back, stretch, and we'll get into the news. Okay, guys? All right, guys, let's start with the big news this week, which is that Xbox has partnered with Meta for a limited edition MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition, keeping in line with the Xbox branding that is always so good. It's not bad, it's so good. This special VR headset is available from now for $400 US, and it is extremely limited. So it's available today, it's available now, and you can buy it from meta.com, Best Buy if you're in the US, Argos if you're in the UK, or EE if you're in the UK, whatever the fuck these are. According to Microsoft, it's once they're gone, they're gone. So they made what they made, they shipped them out. They're available for purchase, and that's all there's ever going to be. The bundle will include a custom 128GB model. It's a MetaQuest 3S, which is the cheaper, more cost-effective version of the MetaQuest 3. It's an Xbox Carbon Black with Velocity Green matching Touch Plus controllers, and a limited edition Xbox Wireless Game Controller, an Elite Strap, 3 months of Meta Horizon Plus, and 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate, all for $400 US. Quote, with cloud gaming and the launch of MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition, there have never been more ways to play with Xbox, which means nothing. Said by Microsoft's gaming partner VP, Lori Wright. We're proud of what we've built together with Meta, and we can't wait for you to dive into everything the MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition has to offer, whether you're streaming the latest Xbox Game Pass games, exploring the ever-expanding world of VR, or kicking back with immersive entertainment. This is just the beginning of what's possible with great teams, great technology, and when they come together. The Quest headset is the latest hardware to be launched in the Xbox's platform-agnostic era. Later this year, Microsoft will launch, of course, their first branded portable PC, the ROG Xbox Ally, which runs a new Xbox UI on top of Windows, allowing users to access other game stores such as Steam. So this is really different because this is even less of an Xbox than what the Xbox Ally is, and that this is literally just a MetaQuest 3S. The only difference between this one and the other one is that it's painted like a fucking... That's it. I mean, it's painted like a MetaQuest or like an Xbox. So you get if you buy a regular MetaQuest 3S, it's $300 instead of $400, so it's $100 cheaper. And you get the Horizon Plus trial. The difference is if you buy the Xbox One, you get an Xbox controller and 3 months of Game Pass. If you buy the regular version, it's $100 cheaper, and you don't get the Xbox controller or the Game Pass, but you do get Batman Arkham Shadow, which is the only game worth a damn on the MetaQuest 3. So, save $100, get the only game worth playing, and ditch the Xbox controller that you probably already have. I mean, yes. So let's talk about this thing. So before we, rip it to shreds. It looks cool. So the MetaQuest is typically white. This one's all black. And it has that quote-unquote Velocity Green. It's trim. So if you're looking at the VR headset analog sticks, it has green sticks and black controllers. The headset has green trim around it. And then the Xbox controller is black with green trim under it as well. It all looks really slick. It looks really cute. Very cool. I like it a lot. And then, but the thing is, this doesn't do anything that an existing MetaQuest can't already do. You can stream Game Pass to your MetaQuest, through the fucking app or browser or whatever, just like you can on your phone or whatever else. So that's it. It's not that when you boot this up, you're going to get some special UI that looks like an Xbox, but it's in VR and it's made in partnership with Microsoft's hardware team and Meta's hardware team. It is just a MetaQuest 3S with Xbox branding slapped on it and a controller in the box. So this is weird because it kind of reminds me of back in the day. I mean, Samsung still kind of does this sometimes. Like they did an Olympics one last year. They did a BTS one a few years ago. But it was really common back in the day where phone manufacturers would do these partnered versions of the phone. It'd be like the Nokia 538 or whatever. And then they'd be like, here's the Nokia 538 Ferrari edition, or here's the Samsung SG 498 fucking, Coach edition, and here's the Vera Bradley edition of the Sony Ericsson. And so, you know what I'm talking about? There would be like certain artists or celebrities or fashion brands or bands or sports or whatever that would do crossovers with like different phones, and it would be like the same Motorola Razr you could get from fucking AT&T, but this one was the color of whatever brand, that used to be a thing, and that's kind of what this MetaQuest Xbox reminds me of. It is just an Xbox colored and branded and logoed MetaQuest 3. There's nothing hardware-wise or software-wise under the hood that is fundamentally different. Maybe, just maybe, they did some little software bump where when you boot this thing up, it might say MetaQuest 3 Xbox Edition, and then it boots up and then it's just a regular MetaQuest. Maybe it is totally possible that happens, but aside from that, I mean, this is just a MetaQuest 3S that costs $100 more, comes with an Xbox controller, and has a cool color scheme, and that is all we're looking at here. So the thing is, I don't mind the existence of this at all in the context of there's an Xbox console you can buy for your living room. There's an Xbox handheld you can buy if you want Xbox on the go. Xbox is here, there, everywhere. But I want to know that there is, first and foremost, Xbox hardware made by Xbox to support the Xbox ecosystem before we have all these little extra accoutrements and other alternate places to play. And that's, I think, what rubs me the wrong way. If instead of the ROG Xbox Ally being some Asus handheld PC with some Xbox bells and whistles baked into it, if instead of being that, it was the actual proper Xbox handheld from the ground up built by Microsoft that we were originally promised and expecting and hoping for, then that would bother me a whole lot less. But the fact is, this is now, in the past few weeks, not one, but two devices we've gotten where it's just essentially someone else's device with some cheap Xbox partnership. The first one was like kind of squint your eyes. It's like, I guess it's kind of like an Xbox. And this one's like, okay, now we're not even trying. And apparently this was announced like a year ago. I completely forgot about it, and everyone completely forgot about it, that Microsoft and Meta said that they were working together on some hardware thing. And I guess this is the fruit of that labor. But they never outright said, oh, we're going to have an Xbox VR headset. They just said, we're working with VR, or we're working with Meta on some, I don't know, something with it. Stay tuned. This was like last April. They said something about this. So this is kind of not new information, but also new information. And also, they keep stressing everywhere you go. They're extremely limited quantities. Once it's gone, it's gone. I've checked Best Buy and Meta's website multiple times. I checked Meta's website right before I hit record on this podcast. It's still in stock. So like, don't worry. It doesn't seem like this thing's selling out fast or anything like that. I just don't really know who this is for, I guess. It just seems so confusing because it's like, I don't know, this whole like, this is an Xbox thing. It's not that I'm against it. It's that I just feel like they got on the marketing machine with this new trend before they really had their ducks in a row. And I think that's what kind of irks me. It's like, shouldn't this MetaQuest Xbox be like running some special Windows VR operating system that's like an Xbox operating system? Shouldn't Xbox have their own handheld before they just go OEM partnering out handhelds to other partners? Shouldn't we have Xbox building and creating and sustaining the Xbox ecosystem of hardware first before we have them start leaning on others to do these cheap slap together, come buy this shit, you Xbox fan, don't you want it slop that we're getting in place of it? Because it's like, I look at this as someone who owns a MetaQuest 2 and who plays majority on Xbox, and I go, I'm not even remotely tempted to buy this device. In fact, if I was going to buy another headset, I would get a MetaQuest 3S. I'd get the $100 cheaper version that comes with Batman. And then, if I want to play Xbox, I would just use one of my many existing Xbox controllers. But who out there is like, I don't have Game Pass, I don't have an Xbox controller, but I'm really sold on this MetaQuest 3 because I really want to play Xbox games in VR. It just seems like such a specific device that is aimed at absolutely no one. And so I just look at this and I'm like kind of flabbergasted by its existence. It's not that the device itself, it's like abhorrent to me. It's like, I don't understand who this is for. And I don't understand why we're rushing out and announcing all of these partner devices when we don't even have like any first party shit lined up. And that's what's kind of getting me on this. So, the ROG Ally Xbox thing, I could turn my head and be like, not for me, but I'm happy for those who are excited about this. I'll wait for the proper Xbox handheld. Thank you very much. But this one rubs me the wrong way a little bit, where I'm just like, all right, this is just a little shameless. This is a little cash grabby. Like this, if anything, I feel like this thing kind of just waters down the Xbox brand. If anything, it's like, you don't want to get in bed with Meta. Like you're a better brand than that, Xbox. What are you doing? You are the higher quality gaming brand. Why are you partnering with Meta? Shouldn't Meta be trying to partner with you? I don't know. I just feel like this waters down the Xbox brand a little bit, in my opinion, but whatever. All right, guys. We got one other notable news story this week, and it is kind of a piggyback on this rumor that there's going to be a giant restructuring at Xbox imminently. So by the time we get together next week, this might have already unfolded to some extent. We might have some more information on it, but let's talk about this. So from Pure Xbox, we know Microsoft is planning to make additional layoffs in the Xbox division some point in the next week, but a follow-up report now says that some Xbox operations might be ceasing in Europe as well. So according to TheVerge.com, which says one of their sources told them Microsoft is restructuring the Xbox distribution across Central Europe. Here's the quote from that report with The Verge. It says, Microsoft is planning to restructure parts of its Xbox business as it looks ahead to its next generation of consoles. One source tells The Verge Microsoft is restructuring Xbox's distribution across all of Central Europe, resulting in some Xbox operations ceasing in some regions. So when it says Xbox operations ceasing, I don't think that means that they're going to stop selling Xbox in certain regions. I think that means that they're going to stop emphasizing people, like certain teams that work out of those regions, as they start to de-emphasize parts of the world where Xbox just isn't a big deal, which is kind of weird because they're trying to grow this brand more than ever before and get you to believe that your MetaQuest is an Xbox, but at the same time they're also like, also just to clarify, we Switzerland, you don't matter. So it's like, what? So the report ends by saying Central Europe includes countries like Switzerland, Czech Republic, Germany, Poland, Croatia, and others. And we don't know what some operations refers to, but it could be small stuff or it could be big stuff. It could be as simple or as moving parts around for the business from one area to another, or it could be eliminating certain departments altogether. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But Xbox has been in a losing battle with the European market for a long time now to PlayStation. PlayStation is huge in Europe and Asia. It's just you can't compete in Europe and Asia. PlayStation just has such a fucking strong foothold. And then Xbox, it's like English speaking places only. It's like the US, Canada, UK, Australia, and then you look outside these places, it's like fuck, Xbox has got it surrounded, or PlayStation rather. And so I wonder if that has something to do with it. They're just like, fuck it, we're going to try to appeal to some of these European markets more through, TV apps and putting our games on PlayStation and VR headsets and gaming portable machines. But it just seems so short-sighted to start to cease operations or potentially close down operations in certain parts of the world at the same time where you're making moves to try and raise brand awareness and spread your reach out more than ever before. spread your reach, more than ever before. And so just, I don't know. Again, we don't know the specific details, and by the time we talk next week, we might know everything. But I just find this to be weird timing. It's like, it just feels like Xbox is always one step forward, two steps back, just with everything they do. It's like, okay, I understand that you're doing this, but why now? Why didn't you do this years ago? Or why don't you give it a few more years and see how this everything is an Xbox mentality works? But to do it now just kind of makes no sense. It's another shoot yourself in the foot moment. It's like you finally have a great slate of games for Game Pass. Right at this time, you're starting to put all your games on PlayStation. What are you doing? It's not that the decision is mind-boggling. It's that the timing is mind-boggling. What are you doing, Xbox? So we have to ask, as always, because I don't know what the fuck is going on in Microsoft land, but it just doesn't seem cogent. All right, guys, that's all the big news this week. Let's wrap up the podcast with some important enough news stories important enough to make the show, but not important enough to warrant their own discussions. Starting with Mind's Eye, which we touched on earlier. Apparently, Build a Rocket Boy studio, the studio behind Mind's Eye, has reportedly started the process of numerous layoffs, according to a report from IGN, which cites the studio sources speaking under anonymity. God damn it. The studio has started a 45-day consultation process with staff today, so we'll see how that goes. Probably not well, unfortunately. All right. On to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds from VGC. Nickelodeon and Sega have officially confirmed that Sonic Racing Cross Worlds will have a collaboration with Nickelodeon following leaks on social media. Announced in 2025 at the 2025 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. I can't believe that's still a thing, but that's awesome. Cross Worlds will feature characters from SpongeBob, including SpongeBob SquarePants in a themed vehicle and track. In addition, the pair teased future Nickelodeon-themed content from Avatar and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Nickelodeon characters will be included in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds Digital Deluxe Edition or separately via Season Pass, which will also include recently announced Minecraft content, characters from Netflix series Sonic Prime, and 2 more yet-to-be-announced collaborations. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds will be released on September 25th on Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC. This is a weird one for me, because when they were like, oh, Hatsune Miku and Joker and and Ichiban and all these guys from like Sega games and Japanese pop culture and stuff, I was like, yeah, this works. I'm okay with this. This is cool. Like the Sega crossover, this makes sense. And then they're like, and Minecraft. I'm like, that's weird. And now they're like, oh, and SpongeBob and the Ninja Turtles and Aang from Avatar. I'm like, this is just bad. Now it's like we're moving away from Super Smash Bros. And we're getting into like, what's that Warner Bros. One that just got shut down? Multiverses or whatever. It's like, it's a weird cross of characters, and I just feel like this waters it down. I don't want to see Shadow the Hedgehog racing Patrick Star from SpongeBob. I just feel like this is more into meme territory and less into, oh, isn't that cool that all these characters are together? So personally, I think this is a detraction from the game. It's a little disappointing to me, but whatever. Hopefully people like it. That's all that matters. All right, and then lastly here, guys, I have not been able to find this footage for myself, but work in progress footage of Battlefield 6's single-player campaign has been appearing online. So I know people are excited about that. Apparently it looks pretty good. People are saying that it looks like, it's rough footage. It's rough, unfinished footage, but people are saying good things about it. So I just thought I'd throw it out there. If you're excited about Battlefield 6 and you're really looking to see what it's looking like so far, I'm sure if you dig hard enough, you can find it. I personally would just rather wait for them to show it to me. But just want to put it out there. I know some people are excited about that game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for all of our news this week. Let's wrap up with a couple comments. We got 2 commenters, 3 comments total. We read a couple comments throughout the show, and now we got a couple close out the show. Remember to go to youtube.com/XboxOnPodcast. It's at XboxOnPodcast at youtube.com. Click on the latest episode of the podcast and drop a comment, and that is how you get read on the show. Please review the show on podcast services, but comment on YouTube. Appreciate you guys for writing in and supporting the show. Let's get to it. Starting with Cargo Runner UK, who says, great show as always. Nintendo have announced variable pricing. They know people play Mario Kart for hundreds of hours, so $80 US. Donkey Kong is another shorter experience, so $70 US. Seems fair to me, but Xbox are terrible at pricing at $730 for a 2 terabyte Series X. What the heck? $70 US for Redfall, and now $80 for Outer Worlds 2. All this seems like bad ideas. Yes, I agree completely. I think there is no nuance or thought behind this. I think it was just, now is the timing, let's do the thing. And this is where sometimes Xbox does something that's not technically good or bad. They're not technically the bad guy, but they're kind of also just like not the smartest person in the room. It's like, what are you doing, Xbox? It's like, can't you read the room and tell that the Outer Worlds 2 is not the game you start the $80 price tag with? And this is what I was talking about on the podcast the other day. So I wonder if this is kind of in direct response to me talking about that, Cargo Runner. But yeah, I agree with you entirely. It's not that I'm against them trying to charge $80 for their game. It's that, you know, isn't that what Call of Duty's for? Like, isn't it just so obvious that Call of Duty is the game you start the $80 price tag for? Isn't it like kind of the most obvious fucking thing in the entire world? Because Call of Duty is your Mario Kart. It is your game that no matter what, people will buy it. Think about Call of Duty. All anyone with a broadband internet connection ever fucking does is bitch and moan and downvote anything pertaining to Call of Duty ever. And then the game proceeds to sell tens of millions of copies every fucking year. If there is a game you can get away with charging $80 for, it's not the Outer Worlds 2. It's Call of Duty. So yes, Cargo Runner, I'm right there with you. I think this is a mind-numbingly stupid decision. It is a very Xbox move, and we'll see how it works out for them. I don't know. I think it's going to hinder sales. I mean, obviously on Xbox, it's a great thing. It just makes Game Pass look all the more attractive. On PlayStation, where they actually make their fucking money, I think it's a bad look for the game. Hopefully, there's not too much competition around the time it comes out. But you know, November's usually a pretty busy time, so we shall see, Cargo Runner. But you also had a second comment here, a much longer comment. So let's get into that, where you say, personally, I don't trust anything Sarabon says. Microsoft uses the word Xbox to mean anything that they want the word play to mean. They could easily make the next under-the-TV console a Windows 11 machine and make you stream your console-only games, Xbox 360, Xbox One, etc. Microsoft would still describe this as an Xbox, and it would play all your PC console games as well. I will stop there and just say they could, and I think eventually they might, but that's not what the next Xbox is. I mean, that AMD promise and everything, they're clearly making a traditional console at least one more time. But you continue on, you say, the one library play anywhere idea is a great idea, but hard to implement when many games have different PC and console versions, different save files, and licensing issues. Bingo. Microsoft making millions by charging console players for multiplayer and charging console players more for Game Pass. So will Xbox stop charging for multiplayer? Or maybe you will get access to everything everywhere if you have Game Pass Ultimate. For example, the Xbox Meta Quest is an Xbox you can wear, but only if you pay for Game Pass Ultimate. My gut feeling is that Xbox will keep Windows and console separate so that they can keep charging for console multiplayer. Windows players will need Game Pass Ultimate to access console games, and console players will need Game Pass Ultimate to access Windows games, Windows and Steam. It is probably wishful thinking, but one idea I have for the next generation will be a separate disk drive unit that connects to the internet and not to your console. It validates your Xbox 360 and Xbox One discs and lets you download the game to any of your future Xbox devices. It would include Windows. I think a device like that would sell crazy numbers, but it's probably too user-friendly to ever happen. Well, yeah, and also just what's to stop you from like giving it to your friend and then they install and then they install and then they install and then you cease all future sales of that game because it's basically a CD burner for your personal account. So again, it's an idealistic device and it is an ideal device, but I don't think it is a plausible or a realistic one for some of the reasons that you pointed out as well. And yeah, man, I agree. I mean, what you really do here is just continue to show all the logistical and logic breakdowns that are presented as a result of this Xbox, where it's like, oh yeah, and play your Steam games, and yeah, this here, but it does this, and how do you connect to that, and how does it acknowledge, your license for Mass Effect on your Xbox 360, but your Mass Effect 2 license is on your Steam account, and your Mass Effect 3 license is a game you got for free with Games with Gold back in the day when you had that. But it's like, how do you keep all this stuff straight across all these different platforms, only one of which you control? How do you charge players to play games online on a console, but not on a PC. Where the console is a PC, and they communicate, you sync, ubiquitously. It's just there's too many variables that require answering, and it's not that they can't overcome these things, because I think everything you and I are mentioning here, these are addressable things. It's just, realistically speaking, will they, can they, should they? And then if they do, how do they? It's like, okay, so they overcame these challenges, so now how do they build a profitable platform off of this? And it's just I love the idea of all of this on paper. It just doesn't make sense. So once it makes sense, I'll buy into it 100%. But until then, I'll just continue to support it as an idea because I love the idea. But I will continue to be entirely suspicious of how this will ever truly play out or work in any way meaningful. I'm with you, Cargo Runner. It's not adding up at all. But I appreciate you writing in, and I appreciate your thoughtful response. Clearly, you've put a lot into this, and I appreciate that. All right, guys. Our last comment comes from Objects in Space. Haven't seen you in a minute. How you doing, buddy? He says, something that annoys me way more than it should is that Disney is so quick to call everything a flop nowadays. At the box office, technically, yes. But when you have 150 plus million subscribers to Disney Plus, that's hardly fair. I'm sorry, but if I'm paying good money to sub to your streaming service, then why the hell would I want to spend more money going to the theater? Shits me that they think it's fine to wait 4 months to release to streaming too. It should be straight to streaming. I'm not the least bit surprised because Disney is Disney, but still. How about that trailer for Blood Message? Wow. This is the first I'm seeing a Blood Message. I've never heard of this. I'm going to watch the trailer in the background. It's Arabian Nights Soulsborne shit, dude. It's just like a horse and his boy, dude. Is this like Lewis Carroll or some shit? Like, what is this, dude? Sorry, I'm skimming it. I'm not going to watch this. This is not for me. But, anyway, Objects in Space, I appreciate you writing in. So, I don't... first of all, I don't know how the fuck we're talking about Disney Plus and subscriber numbers in Disney. This has nothing to do with Xbox. But, I don't know what Disney called a failure or a flop. But, I mean, listen, man. Again, it's the same thing as Game Pass. Like, you need a crazy number of subscribers to make this thing profitable. And with Disney Plus, and this is totally unrelated to Xbox, so I don't really know why we're getting into the weeds on it. Disney has wildly padded their numbers for Disney Plus subscribers because Disney Plus subscriber numbers counts all these other services they have in other countries. And there's like this star service thing they have in like India that's like pennies. It costs like $1 a month or something like that to subscribe to. And it has like an absolute shit ton of subscribers, as like tens of millions of subscribers. And Disney, and that service includes a lot of content that is in Disney Plus, but it is not Disney Plus. And when Disney reports numbers, they're able to lump those numbers in with Disney Plus subscriber counts. So my understanding is that, I forget what they call it. It's like something star or something. But Disney is basically able to dramatically pad their subscriber numbers when they report financials about Disney Plus and how it's doing. So my understanding is that Disney Plus is, in terms of just subscriber count, is doing relatively decent. Like, it's doing better than like a Peacock or a Paramount Plus. But it's not at like Netflix level subscribers. So my understanding is that they are struggling to make money on Disney Plus because the production cost of all these 8.6 trillion Marvel and Star Wars shows they keep churning out is expensive. And foregoing a lot of movie theater ticket sales and DVD sales and Blu-ray sales by putting all this shit on Disney Plus is costly. And, it's not just costly because you got to run the service, but because, more importantly, the opportunity cost, the people that don't go to the theater, the people that don't buy the Blu-ray, the people that don't, keep cable and watch Disney Channel and do all these things. It just makes it a much more costly thing. And then they got to, make these TV shows and movies to support, Disney Plus and keep you subscribed. So it is a very, very expensive. The thing about it is, like, the streaming model fucking sucks. It just sucks in general. It sucks for everyone. You're just paralyzing your consumers with way too much shit that they never actually get around to experiencing. So we end up paying for all this shit that we never even use a single percentage of. and then it's highly unsustainable. Very few of these companies are able to make it work for them. Even like a company like Netflix that took forever to get profitable still has these like random quarters where they just fall off dramatically and then they're back up and it's okay for a minute and then they fall off again. It's like, it's just an unsustainable, sloppy, messy, risky way to do business. And unfortunately, Disney is not a creative company anymore that thinks freely and has creative solutions to problems. They are a trend-chasing modern company that wishes so badly to be vapid, like a fucking Netflix or fucking I don't know, like what's a lame ass company that no one thinks twice about and cares about. They're constantly just trying to be as lame as humanly possible. So of course they had to chase trends instead of do something original and unique. I personally, if I were in charge of Disney, I love the idea of you take the old Disney Vault terminology and you use it for a new like Nintendo Switch Online type service, and you have something called the Disney Vault, and it's like $5 a month, and you subscribe to it, and it has treasure troves of classic Disney movies and Disney TV shows and Disney archival footage that like hardcore fans can access for a small nominal fee, like $5-7 a month. And anything that's come out in the past like 10 years or whatever is nowhere near that service. You don't have the cost of creating new content specifically for that service, but as opposed to it, you have just this old archival footage and movies and shows that you've already more than made your money from, and now you're kind of getting this residual second life out of these shows and movies by having them on this like classic retro streaming service. And then anything that's relatively new, whether it's like 10-15 years old, it's like go see it in the movie theater, go buy the Blu-ray, go buy digitally download it, go rent it, go whatever, so that way they don't completely cannibalize their theater operation, their modern movie operation. That's how I would have done it if I were Disney, but unfortunately Disney doesn't think like that. Bob Iger is a just soulless suit that has zero creativity. All he knows is how to buy shit and spend money and not how to actually do a single thing worth a damn. So this is the Disney you're left with, is this soulless fucking Apple-like corporation. And I hope you love it. I hope you love it so much. I hope you love it. I hope you love when you go to Disney World and it feels like you're shopping at a fucking Google campus, because that's what they did to Epcot. They turned it into a fucking Google campus, and I'm a jaded asshole. But on the bright side, Hooters hasn't modernized. I hear they're still pretty fucking great. Boobies everywhere, chicken wings everywhere, and they even got Miller Lite, Bud Light, Michelob Ultra. I mean, it's a great place for families. So there's that. Objects in space. I don't really know where we're supposed to go with this conversation beyond that. I don't know if Disney Plus is profitable. My guess is that it's probably not. I mean, Disney makes plenty of money. They make shit tons of money off their theme parks. They make shit tons of money off merchandising. I don't really know what Disney's making money off aside from those things right now, because they are kind of running their business like absolute dog shit. But whatever. You'll watch Toy Story 7, so it'll be okay. What am I trying to say? God, I'm such a spiteful ass. Like I cannot purge myself of the negative energy. So it's like all the shit talking I was doing about Nintendo is now being transferred to Disney. So I'm like, dude, Nintendo Switch is cool. Fuck you. I like Donkey Kong. Anyway, Disney's gay now. Because God forbid I'd just be optimistic and positive. All right, I think that unfortunately we're gonna end on a real sour note there. There's another comment, wasn't there? Wasn't there fucking dude? I thought Sam Torres wrote in. Where's Sam Torres? Where's that sexy baby girl? Well, let me see. I got another comment here, I believe. We are missing one, and we're going to end it on a positive note, and we're going to end it on a positive note pertaining to Disney, because Sam Frito writes in with a final comment and says, I'm a beautiful boy. He says, Elio, the new Pixar movie, was great. If I see a costume Elio at the Disney theme parks, I'm going to give him a wink, a high five, a handshake, and let him know he saved the world. If I see him leaving a Circle K with a six-pack going home, I'm going to question what meeting off-world cultures does to the human brain. I'm assuming you watched the new Pixar movie, Elio. I tried so hard. Is it Elio or Elio? I don't give a shit. I think it's Elio. I tried to get my mom and my girlfriend to go to the theater to watch that movie when my mom was visiting the other day, and they were like, no, let's spend time together. Oh, let's not go to the movies. Oh, I don't want to see that. And then one night we were home watching TV, and we were on Disney Plus, and I was like, and Disney Plus had a little like 3-minute clip of the movie, like a little sneak peek on it. So I just pressed play while no one was watching, and then everyone just slowly got captivated and watched this little 3-4 minute sneak peek clip of the movie. And they're like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Oh, it's that new Pixar movie, Elio, that I asked if you guys wanted to go see." And they're like, "Huh, this looks cute. I would have seen this." I'm like, "Fuck you." So I'm begging my girlfriend. She said maybe we can go this weekend. She's been a butt. She's been a butt about it because, as we all know, dude. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people are hard on Pixar. I think Pixar still got it. I don't love a lot of these sequels they're doing. I think Toy Story 4 sucks ass. I'm not, Monsters University. Like they don't always nail it. Finding Dory. I don't like everything they do. But like, especially when it comes to their original stories, I think Pixar still got it. I thought Elemental was great. I liked Lightyear a lot, actually. They still got it, dude. Soul was phenomenal. So shout out to Pixar. They still got it. Some of their sequels are okay. I mean, I love the Cars sequels. Obviously, I thought Inside Out 2 was fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was solid. Anyway, Toy Story 2 and 3 are of course excellent. What are we talking about? God damn, I thought this was an Xbox podcast. I haven't talked anything Disney in so long. If you guys want to derail the conversation further, feel free to write in about your opinions on the upcoming Samsung Galaxy Fold 7. I'm very excited. I feel like this phone is finally going to be the phone I've always wanted it to be. So I might finally jump in and try the Galaxy Fold series for the first time. Let me know what you think about that. Other things that are not related to Xbox that we could discuss. Favorite blends of charcoal. Your thoughts on the latest Mountain Dew flavors that are out for this summer. What you're playing on Nintendo Switch 2. Are you excited about Tron? The new Tron movie coming out this fall, Tron Ares. Are you in contact with God? Do you need God in your life? Let me know if so. Guys, I think that's gonna do it for the podcast. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being here, participating, giving 5-star reviews, writing in thoughtful comments, and just yanking me off with these nice things you say and do. You boys take care, and I say boys because I know there sure as hell aren't any women listening. But until next week, be good, be safe, go to the doctor, take care of your health, make sure you don't have high blood pressure. It's serious stuff. Take care of yourself. And until next week, power your dreams.